Hey there, it's Elizabeth, and welcome back to another Ramble Session where I like to ramble. So, what's been going on here? I hope y'all are doing well, and I hope y'all are looking forward to the Thanksgiving break coming up, those of you that are in the US. Um, and yeah, so let's see. I've been working on a lot of different things, and if you'll notice, this says the 11th. And today is what? The 17th, I believe. Let's see here. Yeah, today's Thursday, the 17th. So I am still back on November 11th and in my Fobonichi. And that's one of the things I did want to discuss on today's Ramble Session is, a lot of times I see on the site or, y'all comment on my videos and that you're behind or you're not in the necessarily in the mood or whatever the case is. I am always behind. Okay, if y'all have been on my channel at all for any length of time, you know that I am always behind as far as dates are concerned. I, however, do not consider myself like behind. you know I do what I can when I can, and that's all I can do. And so I just want to put it out there, if you feel as though you are behind, don't fret about it. Try not to fret about it. Do what you can when you can. And, I think the key to any type of journaling is to enjoy it and have fun doing it, because once it becomes a chore, it's no longer fun and you don't want to do it. So, yeah, I encourage you just to pick up where you left off and keep going, keep going, because I do think it's important to journal about our days, journal about, how we feel or what we're doing or whatever the case is. And so I would just encourage you to keep trying, keep trying and try not to fret about being behind or anything like that. Like I said, I do not work on this every day. I physically cannot work on it every day. It's just, that's the way my life is. And, some days I work on it and some days I don't. And I do, if you'll notice on these pages, I still have, like I've done most of the pages, but I just have to go back and, finish them off. So I do use my post-it notes, to remind me of what happened that day, so that when I do have the time to go back and work on it, I have the information there. Okay, and there are a lot of videos that I have on my channel that show you my process. I talk about it just about every time I get on here, my process, or especially like in my ramble sessions, how I go about doing things. And so feel free to go back and look at those process videos. But that's what works for me. And that's another thing I wanted to bring up. What works for me might not work for you. So just take your time and have fun. That's the most important thing. I was going through yesterday some of my pages and, putting my clip art in and things like that. And, this page here was a Sunday, and, we went out to lunch and happened to go by Michael's. And then when I got to the page yesterday, and I'm thinking, ugh, I just, I don't know. I just don't feel it. You know what I mean? I don't feel like doing it. So I don't know, maybe I'll just decide to do some collage work or something like that. Goodness knows I have enough clippings, but, that's the thing too, is like, do what is fun. If it's not fun, don't do it. You know what I'm saying? So anyway, there's my little tip for you. So today I'm hoping to work on these pages and get caught up before the holiday week. If not, I'm not going to fret. I will get the pages halfway done, and then when I have the time, I'll sit down and, work on them. One moment while my dog so rudely interrupts me. Again. Jackson. No, honey. No. That's rude. That's rude. Okay, sorry. He wants his sister to play and she doesn't want to play, so he just sits there and barks incessantly at her, and she never does play. So, I don't know. Anyway, okay, what else is on my desk here? So, here are a few things. Whoa, sorry. Boy, that was probably like a big flash. Some of the things I've been working on, like literally, this has been a craptastic week for me. Just, life just gets in the way sometimes. Yeah, so I think it was like on Monday, I had like a total bed day. And I call them bed days because that is where you will find me, in bed. Somebody had commented on one of my videos about, me having bed days sporadically, and how do I journal in bed? Here's the easy, simple answer. I don't, That's why in my book, I do it in stages so I can go back and fill everything in. Sometimes I do take, if I'm feeling up to it, I do take my book into my bedroom. And if I have everything in pencil and all of that kind of stuff, then I can, if I'm feeling well enough, go back in and just copy over my journaling and things like that to finish out the pages. Sometimes I don't feel it. I don't feel like doing it, so I don't. Other days when I am having a bed day, I take maybe a few magazines in there, and I have my laptop in there, and I might watch YouTube videos and clip magazine clippings. Some days, like on Monday when I was in bed, I decided that I really needed to go through my emails. So in part, what I ended up doing is, and oh my gosh, as most of you know, my husband sends me emails every morning when he's at work. Obviously, like if he's at home, he doesn't send me an email. He can just look at me and tell me. But, but these are email love letters that he has sent me through this entire year, 2016. Even though for some reason this says 2015, I must have did something wrong there, so I'll just have to change that. And I still have more. I just came out here to film this video, and I happen to look in the printer, and I have all of these, all of the like 20 or 30 more. So I'm so thankful that he does this for me and writes these out for me. So yeah, that's what I did on Monday. I sat in bed and I transferred all of his love letters into a Word document so that I can print them out and keep them forever. And what I plan on doing with them is, I had looked on my shelf. This paint is still wet, but I had looked on my shelf and I noticed that I had, let's see if I could do this without a bunch of paint getting on me. I had this composition book that I'd made for some reason or another. I have no idea. It's all washi and whatnot. But I don't know why I made it. There's a big blob right there. I better get rid of that. Yeah, I have no idea why I made it. But then I thought, you know what? I'm just going to use this and use up some of my craft paints that are going, getting down to the bottom of the barrel. And I'm just going to scrape some paint on them, make them a little more colorful. And then I'm going to take my love letters, and I'm just going to simply washi them in or glue them in or whatever, and then I'll have a whole book of our love stories. So yeah, and I've sanded up the cover of this book, and I'm going to decorate it. So I've been working on that. And then I've also been working on this book here that you guys have seen before. I do collage in this book, but I'm going to show you something else that I think I'm going to start. So yeah, so I've done some collage work in here. This, I think you've seen most of these. This one I went back and outlined, the lettering on it. This is just kind of like a practice book. And then I did this one here, this little, what is it called? Oh, somebody called it something. I can't think of what it's, Harlequin, I guess. Yeah, so I worked on this. And then I did this one here, and let's see, and I think I started on this one here, and I still have to do my lettering on this one. And I'm having a lot of fun doing this book. However, as I have been working in it, I have found that there are just so many pages in this book, and it's very overwhelming to me to, I guess, feel as though I have to fill up the entire book. You know, if you have a book that you're working in, obviously you want to fill it up, right? So what I ended up doing with this book is, or what I am currently doing is, I don't know how to explain it. I would turn a page and then rip out 2 pages. Then I would glue those pages together, like the 2 that are still left in the book. Then I would turn the page and I would have another page turned, rip out 2 pages, then glue the next page to the first page. I hope that makes sense. Let me see. Like here, I have this page here, and then I ripped out 2 pages here. So then I will glue the next page. I will glue these 2 together and then go on from there. So in the end, this book will end up with maybe like 20 pages to work on. And that's just more feasible for me, you know? When I start on a book, I just get very overwhelmed with how many pages there are. And because I get bored very easily, it's hard for me to fill up a sketchbook or fill up, you know, an art journal book or something like that. I like things to have a start and have a finish. I know that there are crafters and artists out there that have ongoing things all the time. I'm not one of those people. I like to start something and I like to finish it. And so, yeah, that's what I'm doing with this. And this is going to be my practice thing. Well, then, as I was, you know, on YouTube quite a lot, and I had been revisiting yet again Teesha Moore's website, she has on her, what's it called? Her YouTube channel, and I'll link it below. She does a 16-page, like, art journal out of 1 sheet of watercolor paper. So that really appealed to me. Number one, because it's only 16 pages. I can handle that. I feel as though I can handle that. I can start it, and I know that there are only 16 pages, and I can finish it, okay? And this, again, this is all out of 1 sheet. I hope you can see this. 1 sheet of watercolor paper. Now, when I was in town the other day with my family, we were right by Michael's, and as you all know, I do not enjoy shopping in Michael's. I like Michael's, I just don't enjoy shopping in Michael's. It's very overwhelming to me. It stresses me out. So usually if I go into Michael's, it's for like 1 or 2 things. I know exactly where they are, and I just run in, get it, and leave as soon as I can. But I had seen on Teesha Moore's how to make this journal, and it starts out, like I said, it starts out with 1 sheet. Oops, I need to feed Atticus, my daughter's little fish, but anyway, squirrel. So it starts out as 1 full big sheet of paper, and it is, what I got was this one here. I don't know where the camera is on this thing, so let me see. So that's what I got, okay? It's a watercolor sheet. It is Strathmore 400 series. Have no idea what that means. I don't know if it's hot press or cold press. There were no labels on the shelving. Go figure. And it starts out as 22 inches by 30 inches, okay? And what Teesha does, and of course, again, I'll link her below. I'll link the videos below. There are 2 of them, I think. I'll link them below so that you can go over there because she explains it and you can see it a lot better because she has like a wide angle on her camera so you can see the whole thing. But what she does is she takes the paper in its entirety, right? And she cuts it into 3 strips of 10 inches by 22 inches, okay? Then she takes that and she makes these little folder things, okay? So you open it up like this, and this is 8 inches approximately. The next page is 8 inches, and then there's a little flippy-do here that's left over that she just folds in, and, you know, and that's how it comes out. So it's like a little folder. Well, you make 2 of those, and then that becomes, you know, the inside of the signature. And if you don't know what a signature is just a grouping of folded papers bound together. That's what a signature is. Then the third piece of paper that's 10 inches by 22 inches, she folds in half for the cover, and then she makes it so that there's another little flippy do over here, and I'll show you in the finished book that I made. And then that's what she uses for her collage journaling. Now, again, there are two reasons why I really enjoy this idea and why I'm going to attempt to do it sometime in the near future. Is the first reason, again, oh, I hope my nails aren't dirty. I've been painting this morning. Anyway, the first reason is because there's a limited amount of pages, and it's something that I can feel that I can work with. It's not overwhelming for me to think of filling 16 pages, right? So this is how this book came out. It is bound with a pamphlet stitch on the spine here, 3 holes and a pamphlet stitch, and she shows you in her video how to do it. I had found, usually a lot of people when binding books, they tell you to use wax thread. So I had remembered that I had this kind of thread in my sewing notions that I had received years and years and years ago. It has no label on it because it's so old, and I have no idea, but I can tell that it's very thick, and I can tell that it's kind of woven. I don't know whether it's waxed or not. I have no idea what it was used for, but what I do know is I can pull it, yank it, do whatever, and it does not break. So I don't know what kind it is. I've never been able to find waxed thread in a store. You know, personally, I don't know. And when I ask, nobody knows what the heck I'm talking about. So I'm either not asking properly. I don't know. Anyway, I found this, so that's what I used. So this is how the book actually comes out when it's all finished and completed. Is you have this, you know, nice 8 by 10 book of 16 pages. So you open it up and whoa, that's a whole lot of orange and pink there. This is just craft paint, just regular craft paint. And then here's the little flippy do on the cover that she has. And then I just painted that, this bright, blinding yellow. But I'm going to use this for collage. The second reason I like this book, aside from it having a minimal amount of pages to work with, is that it's on watercolor paper and it's a lot more flat to use in collage. The one thing that I have an issue with, I don't mind it so much, but the one thing that I have an issue with using the magazine is that for me, it gets like wrinkly, which I don't really care. I mean, in the end, it's going to look fine, and I'm not, it's for my personal benefit, it's for my use, so it doesn't matter really to me, but I would like things to be a little bit more flat instead of, wrinkly, because anytime you put glue on anything, whether it's a glue stick or not, and especially when using magazine clippings, because some pages in magazines are thicker than others, some wrinkle more, all of that. So that's another reason why I want to try this, because the substrate, the watercolor paper, is a lot more flat. And I've painted some of the backgrounds, just willy-nilly painted them, It might turn out in the end that I fill up the whole thing and you can't even see the background, which is fine. But in case I don't, or I want to do some lettering on it, around the images, or whatever the case is, I'll have a background already. So that's what I've been working on with that. And this is how it looks, right? So here's the cover, little flippy-do here. And then this is the first one of the pages in the signature. So you have, I just left the rough edges on it too. I kind of like that look, but you can certainly, straight edge it and make it, straight and square. And then the next page here is this little flippy-do, right? So this whole thing right here, including the flippy-do, is 22 inches long by 10 inches high, okay? And then you fold it to a 16-inch mark, because that will give you 2 full pages that are 8 inches a piece. And then of course you have this extra flippy do. Now what you could do, I know that's such a technical term, flippy do, but anyway, you could, if you don't want the flippy do, simply cut it off, you know. But I chose to keep them in. And then you position, you know, your pages when you're making the book. And so you have one section that has a flippy do to the left. You have the next section that has a flippy do, you know, to the right. And then you have the back cover that has the little flippy do. Now, if you'll notice, see here, I have leakage in my spine. I don't care. More leakage. I don't even know if you can see that. See, more leakage in the spine. I don't care. Doesn't matter to me. But you can remedy that, I do believe, by you just putting masking tape, you know, so that your paints don't bleed through or whatever. But again, I don't really care. So I've been working on that. And I'm going to finish this collage book first, hopefully, and then work on this one at a later date. And then I have another sheet of paper that I can make another book with if I so desire. Then what else? What else? I think, I still have these that I need to make a video for you guys. But I've said before, I don't edit my videos, I don't speed up my videos, and so what I want to do with these is get the different stages, and these are a smaller version of this, okay? And these are the inspiration journals that I had started on. See, I still haven't finished my blue girl there. Yeah, so I wanted to show you guys, and some of you were interested in how I went about making these, and these are inspired by Jenny Belly. So what I would like to do is with these, I have, you know, a few books here already set up, so I want to show the different stages of them, but I want to do it all in you know, 1 or 2 videos, you know. So I need to work on that for you all, and let's see what else. Yeah, okay. So my Love Note book that I'm working on, my collage book that I'm working on, and my Fobonichi that I'm working on. So I think that's all that I have been working on. Yeah, I think, I hope, I don't know. Yeah, I think that's it. I think that's all I've been working on. And I've been talking way too long, so thank you so much for sharing your time with me. And I hope y'all have a wonderful day, a wonderful week, and I'll catch you next time. Thanks.